Hulamin recorded sharply improved performance in 2012. Our operating profits were up 75 million or 44% to 245 million. Earnings were up 66% rather to 133 million, but one has to strip out a certain number to get from earnings to headline earnings. The impairments we took to our Edendale hot mill and extrusion business added into the second half, whereas the sale from our Epping property was concluded in the first half, and that takes headline earnings to 182 million for the year, which is 127% better than 2011. However, one does need to also strip out the proceeds from the conversion of our pension fund, and that's 118 million was a once-off which we benefit we received in 2012. Stripping that out, we're left with headline earnings of 64 million. That is a 19% improvement on the core headline earnings of 2011, where we did benefit from a prior year insurance settlement. Cash flows were positive in spite of accelerating activity levels and therefore higher inventories towards the end of the year. We generated 72 million rands of cash, which translates directly into lower borrowings, and our borrowings were therefore consequently 70-odd million rand lower at the end of 2012. Operationally, we had a good start to the year. Production in January to April was quite strong. Unfortunately, we suffered a failure to the Kempsdrift hot mill finishing mill motor at the end of April, which resulted in an outage during May and June. But once that mill had started up, production took off quite strongly, and we had a pretty robust second half. Unfortunately, we lost 25,000 tons of sales, so our total annual sales for the year was only 194,000 tons, which was a little disappointing, particularly as we'd grown quite strongly since 2009. But I think a number of developments in the second half particularly bode well for the future. We did agree with the Nampak to a 3-year agreement starting in 2013 for the supply of aluminium can stock for their conversion from steel to aluminium cans. We also secured 2 major contracts for the supply of aluminium extrusions for the construction of solar voltaic farms. And I think also what helped us significantly is the weakening of the rand in the late in the second half, and that definitely bodes well for the future, provided those weaker levels stay in place. If the rand maintains where it is, it definitely will be a better year. But internationally, margins are a little soft, and I would expect more volume. I think we're going to have a much better volume year. Our costs will continue to gain traction. We'll get those costs under control. So overall, I'm cautiously optimistic about 2013.